let's get started. Got my first guest in, which is going to be Alex. Well, technically you're second. I was first with June 1st already. Tony Wallow was second with Good Evening AV, all good. And then you said first. So, yeah, technically you're kind of third. But who's counting? Who's keeping score?
You don't count because...
Oh, I don't count. Okay. I get it. I see. Okay. Well, I gotta get a show in here in the next 3 minutes because I've got competition that I cannot beat. Kerry Holzman's going live at 11 o'clock my time, and I can't compete with him. I did not check to see if Josh had stopped streaming yet or not.
He's already called me twice since I've been home from church.
About?
He's complaining that I wasn't watching his stream, and he wanted to make sure I knew that if I wanted him to play a game, if I knew the game I wanted him to play, I could put it in the comments section.
Okay, well that's important to have those two calls. I mean, did he not realize you had church tonight?
He did, but he didn't call me till after church. And
oh, okay.
Even if he would have called me, guess what? At church, the internet's still out, and I don't carry my phone to church.
That's good. So, have you guys had the meeting yet to find out?
The internet is out because I can receive calls on my iPad, but of course I can't receive calls if I'm not connected to internet.
Correct. Did you guys have your church meeting yet to find out what's going on with the internet?
They did, but it just so happened it was last Sunday and we was sick.
Oh.
We was recovering from the cold or whatever.
Right.
We didn't go.
That's usually the way it goes, isn't it? So you still don't know if it's been shut off or not?
At this point, almost 90% sure that I haven't asked anybody that it's been shut off, because even when we've had internet problems here at the house in the past, it's never been. It may have taken in a week. It may have taken in a week to get it fixed, but it's never taken in a month and a half to fix it.
I would say they probably shut it off then. That would be what I would guess.
And I haven't been over to the other building to check if the one in the other building works or not.
Right. Well, I see the fish cam is a little off tonight. I figured it would be. I kind of bumped into it earlier today, so I may have to fix that here in a minute on the fly. I got a feeling we're going to be very short-lived and very non-attended in the meeting tonight, because again, Kerry was going live at 11. He probably already is live.
I mean, Rick will probably still show up, and maybe Greg, maybe.
Well, Greg was in earlier, so I mean, it's fine.
I had a thought while I was at church that just popped in my head, and it's that motherboard we picked out for Josh's new computer at Advance doesn't have Wi-Fi. But he doesn't technically need Wi-Fi on that computer.
Right.
He's going to park the computer right next to the router so he can plug the cable.
Right, it's plugged into the Ethernet now, so it should be plugged into the Ethernet there as well, right? So he doesn't need Wi-Fi, and if he mentions Wi-Fi, then you're just going to have to talk him out of it. Hi, Jeff.
It's just one of the things that popped into my head, because
well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing to remember, because you're right. He doesn't need Wi-Fi. So you are correct. So I was waiting for some people to show up. I've got a couple announcements to make. I was really hoping Chris Garrett was going to be here tonight, because I've got 5 questions I want to ask him. And I'm hoping Robert shows up, because I got about 5 questions I want to ask him. And guess who called Alex? As if on cue. So, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Tony Wallow. And I want to give him a very sincere, very heartfelt thank you so much for the early birthday gift today. I appreciate it. I was overwhelmed. And I cannot, mere words of thanks are not enough. I do want to thank you, Tony. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Oh, you're competing with Carrie.
Yeah, I kind of announced that at the beginning that this was probably going to be a very short stream because Carrie just went live about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I'd rather watch this one, so.
Well, I thank you for that. How much do I owe you for the bribe? So, I do have three things actually to announce. I'm reworking the introduction. I like how I've got it moving. I've got a preliminary, I hate big words, demonstration to show you guys. And I completely redid the outro. But I did not get rid of Jeff's dancing girls. They are still.
That's okay.
They are still there.
Well, now you just got to find the topless clip for the dancing.
For the after we shut the stream off.
Well, maybe
outro.
you could have some with the pasties and the tassels or something, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Where we think that might be acceptable, YouTube might frown a little
I
bit.
know. I'm trying to think. Brought to mind there was a clip I saw years ago of some famous burlesque gal, and she could make the tassels go the same way, this way,
Yeah.
opposite direction.
Yeah.
And I thought, how in the hell do they do that? You know?
Yeah, I probably would catch some kind of violation if I found that and put that on there.
Well, I don't know. They're covered up.
I know.
It just depends. I mean, you are marked not for children, right?
Exactly.
But you never know.
AI
will catch. Say, speaking of that, did you catch another something the other day? Did you?
No, I think I'm.
Make something else private.
No, I don't think so. Just that
You
one.
mentioned something about.
Yeah, they put a thing out that said on the 19th and 20th, and then it said the 20th had been changed, but it's not. I think they caught it and immediately changed it.
Okay.
So, which is good. So I got a new intro that I'm working on. I've got a new outro that's pretty much done. And tomorrow night I will have a special guest. First time on my channel, I have a special guest. And I really hope to get the word out either by email that I think a lot of people will enjoy tomorrow night's show. The problem with tomorrow night's show is I've got to figure out how I'm going to do it so that I'm not late at night, not early in the afternoon. Right now I'm leaning toward trying to do it about 8:30 to 9:30, I think. Which means Lorna's got to go to lunch early so I can get back and run that. But I'll have it all set up. It'll be just walk in, push of a button, and we'll be off and running. Of course, now if my special guest is running late, that's going to put a caveat in. And we all know usually when you try to coordinate something like that, it never goes as planned. So, and for it being my first time trying it, I don't think it's probably going to go that smooth either. So we will see. We will see. I tried to push this a little later because Josh was streaming.
Well, guess who that was on the phone?
Do I get one or two guesses?
One.
Does the first one count?
Mary.
Yeah, it wasn't Aunt Mary. So who was it? As if I don't know.
Josh.
And?
He was telling me that his lights just flickered, so we couldn't get on Zoom because the lights flickered, and he had to wait for the router to restart, which I told him should not take not even 5 minutes. He should be able to be back on.
Right.
He tried to upload something to YouTube. He said he couldn't because it said that you was disconnected.
Well, yeah, if the lights flickered and the router lost power, of course it's disconnected.
I still have, speaking of that, I still am getting all kinds of YouTube thinking I'm offline. I have no clue what's going on.
I get that with one website and one website only, and I just stopped going to that website.
Well, I mean, it's when I'm on YouTube, sometimes during the live stream. And it'll just say, can't get there. Then I actually have to log all the way out of Google and come in again.
Huh.
And I have no idea what's going on. And I mean, I can have other tabs open with websites and whatever.
Right.
Nothing happens on those.
Right.
Just at Google. And I'm clueless as to what's going on.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well,
Of course, that's not the only thing I'm clueless about. But
if Aunt Mary ever does call me, without me calling her first, I know something serious is coming up.
That's true. Well, possibility. You never know now that she's got an Alexa on the way. She may be calling for tech support. The Alexa may be giving her problems. Now, can that be have more than one voice on it, or is it just going to recognize anybody that says, "Hey Alexa"?
Mine, you can set it up so it has six profiles. I think is what they're called. So
Okay.
like I could have my mom, could have her, could have her contacts or whatever, and if she said call mom, it'd call her mom, and but if I say call mom, it'll call my mom, and all that.
Okay.
The way I have it set up now, as far as like my phone calls and stuff, anybody can say, what's the weather, or anybody can say, call Pizza Hut or call Walmart or whoever. But if you try to say, call mom or call dad or call in Stout or call anybody in my contacts list, it will say can't verify your voice.
Okay.
Can't verify your voice.
We've got a friend that we used to get together at his place to play cards quite a bit before the pandemic. He's had an Alexa for I don't know how long. And whenever everybody was around, we used to just call out random things and say, Alexa, kiss my grits or whatever. And come back and say, I don't understand, or something like that.
Alexa, what kind of cards is Jeff holding?
Yeah.
Comes Greg. I sent Chris a message.
Speedy is here.
Call emergency services. Yeah, that we know that'll work. As just ask Doug Betts, as he almost called the emergency service. Ask me, I called him one night and I don't even have Alexa.
That's the one thing that won't work on mine, on Google Home. That won't work. I can't ask it to call 911 or emergency because it doesn't. It's hooked up to my phone number, and it doesn't. My phone number doesn't. My Google number doesn't recognize. Won't allow me to call 911, so I can't.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Trying to make a call through the speaker, it clearly states that please remember that you can't call 911.
Now, did you set it up that way, or did it come like that?
No, I set it up that way.
Okay, don't you think maybe?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What are you referring to? You're referring to the ability to make calls from the speaker.
Right. So let's just say heaven
to
forbid.
make emergency calls.
Right. Emergency calls. Let's just say heaven forbid you were to fall out of your chair and nobody's home, and you're trying to get Alexa to call 911 for you, and you can't do it because you set it up that way.
Well, I set it up to be able to make outgoing calls, but it won't allow me to make emergency. It won't allow me to say call 911. It won't allow that. So the way to get around that is in my contacts list. I have the local sheriff's or dispatch center programmed in my phone.
Okay.
Instead of saying call 911, I just say call the dispatch.
Sure.
And then I tell them from there that it's emergency.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
not.
I have mine set up so that if I say I left the house, it will automatically call my wife, but it needs to be updated.
So I was kind of hoping Chris would be here because Robert sent me a video this morning, and I'll be more than happy to provide the link. In fact, I'll just provide the link. I won't even say I'd be more than happy. I will just provide the link. And the name of this is called, appropriately enough, Mountain Talk. So I put it in the YouTube stream, and I'll put it over here in the chat for Zoom. Now, as the name would apply, it's about people that live on the mountain and how they talk. And it's pretty interesting, I thought. I specifically, when Chris Garrett joins us one of these nights, have 5 things I want to ask him. For example, Cy Goglin. Anybody know what that means? We're all from the north, the west, the east, so we don't know. But do you know what Cy Goglin means? Jeff might, though. He's from...
I got one.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I've watched this before, and I lived in the southeast for a long time. The dialect will escape me sometimes.
The other one is Irish. A-I-R-I-S-H. Irish. No calling 911 until I get off. What time do you get off? 8 o'clock in the morning? I'm sorry, 911 services are temporarily closed. We expect them to be up and running by 8:01 tomorrow morning. Please call back at that time.
When I said that word to my Google, it thought I was talking about just now. It said that it thought that I was wanting a restaurant.
No, it's what when you said Cy Goglin, it thought you were asking for a restaurant.
Right. It gave me the locations of restaurants.
Well, I won't spoil it because I want to see what Chris has to say about it. This is a common word, but in the mountain regions, they don't mean it like it sounds. Boomer. Common word, boomer. And when you hear Chris will probably know every one of these. I can't pronounce it. Guam or Gom. Gom. It's all gommed. And like that name you can maybe figure out. I think we in the Midwest.
Guam like the country?
No. Guam like mountain talk Guam. What they're saying is it means it's gummed up. I know you guys have heard the expression gummed up. Like your carburetor gets gummed up. Well,
Yeah.
The mountain people say it gets guamed up. And I can kind of see where that might work. And the last one, which really made me think, was they were explaining the difference between yonder and yander. You know, over yonder.
I've heard of yonder, but I've not heard of yander or what it.
Well, have you ever lived on the mountains?
No.
You look at him, he's like, I gotta think about this a minute. Well, yonder, that I know it means over yonder, over there. I have no idea until today what yander meant, and I'm still kind of scratching my head.
We're already putting Josh this late.
Well, it's good. So he can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go watch Rescue. Naturally, on the night that I have explicit speed on this stuff, nobody shows up except for Jeff and Greg, Alex, and Josh.
I figured for sure Rick would show up because as much as he talks about it, he really doesn't care for Terry much anymore.
I took a gander. There I go, using that mountain talk again. I took a look as to who was there. I saw Jim. He's the only person I saw there, and I can't compete with Kerry, and I know that, and that's fine.
Yeah, he just went live. I just got a notice.
Yep, he sure did. He sure did.
Started quite a while ago.
I just posted a new video.
Do what, Josh?
And then I just posted a new video.
Okay, yeah, Rick Lakes is there as of 11:07, which is fine. I mean,
Hearings tonight is just sort of tech talk, supposedly.
yeah, it says live technical support, so I should.
And I don't really have anything of that I want to hear from over there right now.
Oh, I understand that. Boy, do I
I mean, there's
understand.
nothing wrong with having tech talk and answering people's questions. If that's what he's doing, that's fine.
True. So if you get a chance, check out that link I put in the chat. It's interesting. And
I don't know if I've seen that particular one. I have seen a couple of them very similar to that, where they were doing like living history things.
mm-hmm.
There was some guy that was, I don't know, philologist, is that the right word, that studies languages and stuff?
Sure.
I'm not sure.
Sounds good.
And they were trying to record some of these dialects up in the mountains before all of them disappeared.
One of the other interesting things I paid attention to and it caught my ear was they were talking about people that live at the top of the stream and people that live at the bottom of the stream. In other words, on the mountain and in the valley. And the people in the valley talk so fast you can't understand a word they're saying. And the people at the top of the stream talk so fast you can't understand a word they're saying.
They do that in Europe too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Watch a movie and it's got the English subtitle below it. You can't even read 2 lines and they're on to the next sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting. It kind of, I sat here and put my day together and watched it, and I wrote down those 5 things that I clearly want to ask Chris about. There's probably at least 5 more, but I think those 5 are a good start.
So, my mom and dad are getting a sleep number bed Friday.
Finally?
And yeah, finally, after a week of it being delayed, because of the people that's supposed to deliver it.
Did they by chance say why it was delayed?
I have no idea. I just know it's supposed to be, and it wasn't. Because the night before it was supposed to be, she came in here asking for the Wi-Fi password or whatever because she forgot. And they was, because you can connect your, because it's a smart bed, so you can connect your phone to it or whatever. So it like measures your heart rate or whatever.
Right. I don't think I'd be real comfortable with that myself. I don't need no phone connected to my bed monitoring what's going on.
Well, my mom don't want it. You have to have, of course, you have to have the app, and my mom said she don't want it. That she don't need it, but if Dad wants it, he can use it. But as far as adjusting the actual mattress and all that, you don't need it. It's got a remote. Got a remote for that.
I was just Googling Yonder or whatever, and I found some things, trying to make a distinction between over there and over yonder. I found another one that says yonder is often pronounced yander in some places in the South. But it didn't say there was a distinction between them.
Yep, that's...
So I don't know.
well, believe me, I know I don't know. I'll probably watch it again, pay a little bit better attention,
Yeah, I think I'll
be actually awake when I watch it this time.
Yeah, I'll save it as a bookmark and listen later.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
real
gonna
sure.
find that a little bit interesting since I lived in near Appalachian areas for 20 years.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I set my alarm for 7:45 and I woke up at 7:24. And I'm like, why did I set the alarm? What is so doggone important that I'm going back to bed.
I got a surprise this morning. My
Okay.
mom came in there while I was still laying down, put my socks on or whatever, change my socks like she normally does, and the dog got under the covers.
Yeah.
Next thing he ever do with me.
Well.
Was it storming or something to scare them? They wanted
It
to.
wasn't. It was earlier. It wasn't. It was earlier this morning. It was just.
Oh, by the way, Catherine is fine. Both Robert and I talked to her earlier this morning. She's okay. So, she's just been busy. She appreciated that we were concerned.
Well, there's the old man magnifying glass out.
Yeah.
The old man magnifying glass. Did I miss something? Oh.
And
Oh my gosh.
Another one's always handy, so not making fun. Just, this is the reality of getting older.
Yeah. Yep.
My alarm went off at 8:30 this morning, and I didn't end up getting up until like 9:15.
Well, I slept in this morning. Kids weren't here, and I've been waking up early. Not always when I want to, just I've been restless. Haven't completely adjusted to everything since my wife passed, and I have to stay awake and watch the kids when they're here, and they weren't here this morning, so I slept in till about 9:30.
Well,
Oops.
my mind is trained so that every Sunday morning I'll automatically wake up right before my dad comes in the room to say, "Time to get up."
Boy, all the traders are over there. Jim, Photo Mix Media, Rick Lake, Stealth Mode. Oh, I'll see you guys in about an hour. I'm going to go. No, I'm kidding.
No. If you leave, just give it back to me so that me and Josh can stay. But then he may want to go watch Gary too. So
I haven't. Other than I'm just keeping up with chat, that's about all I'm going to do.
Yeah. I don't know. You see any of those videos out today about the new 0-day exploit? Something in the Microsoft diagnostic tool that comes with Windows.
I saw something about.
I seen an interesting comment from Jim. He said he's kind of upset that Intel is starting to solder the memory to the motherboard. Have you heard anything about that?
Well, there used to be Intel motherboards, but I haven't seen a new one from Intel in a long time. Let's see what that.
What do you mean? Are they referring to like their Intel Nooks or computers that they make?
Oh, I don't know. They're talking. He said specifically he's a little. Let me see if I can find it here. It may be too far back. So one thing I don't like about chat, I wish you could go all the way back
And search.
and search. Yes, and I can't go back that far. I figured it wouldn't let me. But he said something about that's the way Apple does it, and Intel is starting to mimic and follow what Apple is doing.
Yeah, I forgot about the Nooks. Isn't that the only one that really is just made by Intel now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I found
You
it.
used to be able to buy Intel motherboards, but I don't think they make motherboards that they sell for you to build custom machines anymore.
So I just put it in the chat, and now I'll highlight it on Twidget. That comment that I just copy and pasted came from Jim, not me.
I'll be back, guys. My weed isn't coming on. I want to check the bugs in the computer. I'll be back.
We'll be here.
Okay.
We ain't going nowhere. We're not going to let Kerry Holzman run us off. As soon as he leaves, we'll leave. Oh, he's still here. I meant we're going to stick around, Josh. So I let Gary in. There he is. Man, that took forever.
Yeah, the same thing happened the other night. I let him in, and it took quite a while for him to.
Well, tonight, my Twidget is, I mean, literally, I'll push the button, 1, 2. Of course, now when I say that, it's not 3 seconds. That's pretty quick compared to what it's been. Which figures. I mean, nobody's. I don't mean that the way it sounds. There's not a lot of people here.
Well, I can sympathize with you, Greg. Over the past few years, I've dropped roughly twice that on my daughter's dental work.
Woo!
Yeah. Well, I just enrolled him in an Aetna insurance policy, and that's what I was just doing with the magnifying glass. Trying
Trying to find the fine print in those damn things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got about size 8-point font, and the procedure, one of them was $1,140. They're gonna, with this $131 a year plan, it's only gonna cost me $850. That's for 5 teeth being fixed.
Well, that's not bad. I'm paying about that for a new crown. I got,
Yeah, that's what I think it was, I think it was a crown.
but
Yeah.
I have some dental insurance through a place I worked years ago, and it's a retiree plan. And it's marginal how much good it does me. The main thing it gains me is that I get the rates the insurance company negotiates with the dentist.
Right.
I'm paying like $525 a year for this thing, and the maximum benefit I can get out of it's $1,000. So if I ever reach the point where I'm not having much work done, I'd be ahead probably to just pay out of pocket.
I paid $131 a year, and it's dropping the prices by over 35–45%.
Well, that's not bad. It's just I'm screwed because I'm paying this over $500 a year.
I would look into it. Aetna, A-T, how do you spell it? Can't even see.
It's spelled funny because it's Aetna, but I think it's written with an A, isn't it?
A-E-T-N-A.
Yep.
And
Reminds me, we had just paid the premium for my wife's annual thing when she passed, and they said they were going to send me a refund, and I haven't seen it yet.
it'll probably take 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it'll take them a while.
Yeah, a lot of procedures on the paper, they quoted me 700, 800.
But you know,
Yeah, he's a participating dentist in this program.
things have really changed. Well, one thing that hasn't changed much is the maximum maximum you can get from these policies. When I started to work in December of 1978 and got dental insurance through the place I was working, the maximum benefit you could get then was $1,500 a year. And up until I retired, until I hit 65, and it was mostly through the same outfit, MetLife, for most of the places I worked all those years, and the maximum benefit was still $1,500 a year. Then I hit 65 and they dropped the maximum benefit to $1,000. But way back when, sometime in the early 80s, I can remember getting a root canal and a crown for less than $500 for both procedures total.
Yeah.
And now, frickin' crown is going to cost me $800 and some bucks.
Yeah, that's what it said with the insurance. It dropped.
And I mean, and that's my fault.
1140, I think it was. Yeah, 1140 down to 851.
Well, every little bit helps.
Thought for sure I had heard the bell.
I figure it's gonna be at least $3,000 less with the insurance.
Who we got? There's only 6 people in here. 5 of us plus Gary.
So we have 6 with Gary, or 6 and Gary?
I know where he lives.
Well, he's talking about 5 that you can see and 1 you can't. Right, Alex?
Right.
I think he's been reading his Windows 11 too much.
I think my win, I thought it was dead because I wasn't seeing the red light on
Isn't that just on laptops that they're doing that?
it. Was that?
Oh, soldering and stuff?
Yeah.
I heard they're starting to memory.
Yeah,
On laptops,
yeah.
not,
That's
not,
what
not desktop.
Jim was commenting over on Terry's channel.
It was a loose cord that wasn't plugged
And
in.
if you get, I don't guess they're referring to the like the extreme bottom of the barrel cheapest laptops you can get, and some of those like HP Stream laptops and those really cheap, like $100, $200 laptops are already like that.
I wouldn't even buy a laptop, even if it was $1,000.
Actually, a lot of places are talking about doing that with desktops. You know how much memory disappears every year?
Oh, just people swiping it from work?
Yep. Open that case, boom, boom. Oh, it doesn't work. Why? Because we took it out.
The
Because I took home 32 gigabytes of memory, yeah.
Navy has a desktop. If you pull the cover off, they get an alert.
I don't doubt that. I mean,
They
makes
used to
sense.
have padlocks years ago.
The college computers and the computer labs, they still have locks.
Yeah, some of them have that thing on the back where you can lock the side panel onto the back.
Yeah, a little pad like that, 1/8 inch.
Yeah.
I
Then
mean,
the
it
laptops.
won't stop somebody determined, but you'll know something happened.
Yeah.
And the laptops come with that little Kensington thing.
Plus, they know who the laptop is assigned to, or the desktop.
Yeah.
Problem with computers, like 99%, if you do something, it's a whole heck of a lot because they're gonna say, gee, I don't know what's on my desk.
Well, I mean, that, they issue you a computer, brand new.
And I understand they do that, but
I mean, you're using it every day, you gotta know it's there.
no, you're gonna say tomorrow, I didn't touch it. What do you
Came in and it
think?
was gone, you know?
I mean, they're gonna say, they're gonna apply those cleaning groups.
Be a he said, she said type of situation.
They don't have unattended cleaning crews in the secure areas.
Yeah. Do it most factories though, or most quote companies.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have somebody walking around with
Like what they.
Companies will go nuts over stuff. Years ago, before long distance calling became just included in most plans, whether regular phones or cell phones or whatever. The place I worked, we were a government contractor, and you weren't supposed to make long distance personal calls. And I can remember one time my boss's boss was going around trying to figure out who made calls on a whole slew of
Oh,
phones.
say no to butt cracks, Bernie Weaver. It's aliens.
And one month there were like, I don't know, $8 or $10 worth of long distance calls had been made on the phones in our group. And most of them were at night, so you could guess maybe it was some of the cleaning crew or whatever. And
Right.
here's my boss who's making $50 an hour at that time, spending 2 or 3 hours tracing down $8 worth of phone calls. It made absolutely no sense, but
Yeah.
there you were.
Well, you know what the Navy used to do for years, until after I retired from the Navy, and I can't remember what year it was, maybe 98, 99, 2000, somewhere around there. Every desk, every chair, every mouse, every keyboard, monitor, CPU had to be serialized and accounted for in a database.
We did that, and we also had I know what I'm talking about, but you couldn't pull the sticker out where it come out like the checkerboard.
Yeah.
So if you pull the sticker off, what was left looked like, you know,
Yeah. Well, we had to do that with high-end calculators.
those were $1,000 spent.
I can see PCs, they were going overboard. They were wasting a lot of taxpayers' money. Counting for a mouse, counting for a keyboard, and all that shit. They finally did away with all that.
Jeff, HP or TI?
Both, actually. I had a TI programmable calculator.
I want to say 45 or something, 48.
Well, this was a TI something, I don't remember now. At the time when I went to work there, the big programmable HP was an HP 65 or 67, something like that. And had little magnetic cards that you could read, little programs on. And that's what I asked for. My boss was cheap and he bought me the equivalent TI. And it worked fine, except that the TI calculators, the contacts on the inside were aluminum instead of gold plated as in the HPs. And after a few years, they developed a layer of aluminum oxide on some of the contacts, which made it an insulator instead of a conductor. And I remember mine started acting up, and so I went down
Send a message that they're gonna fix
to
it.
the supply place where you handed in old equipment and that sort of thing and rummaged around until I found another one somebody handed in that still worked, and then I signed one back in and signed out the other one. But they wasted more, and this was like 10 years or 15 years after I had gotten it initially. And it's completely depreciated by that time. Damn, it has a serial number on it, so you had to count for it.
Of course, when you first got it, when you got there, they weren't cheap.
No, they weren't. Well, I had a personal HP 45 I bought when I was in grad school. And I learned a lesson about it. It slipped off my lap getting out of the car after I got home from school when they fell on the ground and broke, wouldn't work. And I shipped it back to HP for repair, and they replaced the guts of it, sent it back to me for $45.
It's not bad.
Now, that tells you how much the parts were worth. The complete price included things like development costs and profit and all that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with that, but just the cost of the parts and maybe 5 minutes to open it up, slap a new set of parts and put it back together was $45. So,
And then buy a new one.
and they were $400 when they came out, and then over the next 3 or 4 years, they gradually dropped. I think by the time they came out with yet another model, the 45 had dropped to something like 150 or whatever.
Now you can't buy an HP calculator. I think you get the 12C, and that's it.
Yeah, well, and I bought my wife an HP 25, which was about several years later. And then it got to where you couldn't get batteries for it. And so what I would do, I would pry open the battery pack, go down to Radio Shack and buy 2 new NiCad batteries, stick them in the pack, and then super glue it back together. And I did that so many times that I finally couldn't get the pack to seat properly anymore. The 45 would run without batteries in it. If you had the power supply.
Right.
But in the 25, the batteries were part of the power circuit used for, I don't know, something like in place of a set of coils and capacitors or something like that. But anyway, they were used as part of the filtering of the power supply circuit. And so it wouldn't run without the batteries in it, even when the power supply was plugged in. So I still have the calculator, but I have no way to use it.
Put it like in the front yard, or not front yard, living room, kind of.
Well, I mean, here on my phone, I bought a calculator app for $5. It does the same thing, and it'll do either algebraic or RPN or whatever, whatever you like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure it actually works correctly, I have a Casio someplace that does more than the old HP45 does it. I bought for $10.
I bought a graphic calculator out for my phone several years ago, and it was only $5. And I actually got in trouble using that app in algebra class. They actually came over to me and said, "Alex, what app are you using?" Took my tablet out of the room, walked down the hallway, talked to the teacher or whoever. They come back to me and said, "You can't be using that."
Hey, Rick.
Yeah, there's some of them. There's a specific list of models for calculators and stuff that you can use on things like the SAT and all of that.
They've done away with that.
What? No more SATs?
Yeah, I heard that on the news.
I heard that too.
And they pass fails, so you don't have to know anything anymore.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick.
Hello.
How's things over in Caryland?
Boring.
Is he doing anything or just talking?
He was talking and answering a few questions, didn't he?
Technical support is what he's doing tonight.
Oh.
If you have any questions you can't answer yourself, he might be able to.
Well, he'll tell you, this is the way a 30-year computer professional does.
Oh, shut up.
Well, just don't ask him any questions about Linux or Mac or anything.
Well, Jim has been over there answering Linux questions in the chat.
Yeah, the last one I posted too, that there are so many channels that deal with Linux on YouTube. That's not for me either. I'm copying and pasting. Kind of fun. Kind of fun. Something different. So how's your weather today, Rick?
It was a little cool, a little windy, not too bad. Supposed to be warmer tomorrow, so.
We had about a 35-second thunderstorm hit tonight right after Greg and I ended Zoom. It was like, I heard it start. By the time I got to the front door, it was literally done. It was just like one big cloud burst, raindrop, done.
We
That's
hit,
how it was here.
we hit 93 today.
Oh my goodness.
I think we did 72 today.
I think we're supposed to be a little bit cooler tomorrow. 89 with rain showers.
They say we hit 88, but I don't think we did. Tomorrow's 76.
Walmart. I gotta do my Walmart run tomorrow. Drink my last bottle of water, and I gotta drink my kids' distilled drinking water that I buy in the normal style milk.
Josh needs to change his name. You don't have a space in between his T, between the T and Robert, and the K and Kinder.
Looks like a space.
Hey, Craig, you can afford milk? Jesus.
So Robert just put in the chat room, oh my gosh, what a storm that is. Hey, you can keep it, please, Robert. Keep it down that way.
Monitor, you should go into a low power standby mode. You can set.
That's got to be Gary and Carrie. So he didn't do anything for what, about 4 or 5, 6 days, and then he comes back late at night, our time? Kind of
Didn't he go to
interesting.
California or something?
I heard that's where he went, yeah.
Yeah, he had to deliver that computer to somebody.
Wonder if he might have stayed next to his dad lives in California, didn't he?
I thought his dad lived in Vegas at one time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if he's moved to California or not. Because I know I watched a video where he said he was going to Vegas or he was in Vegas and he was there to help his dad out. That's been a while back, though. I mean, I was still in Charleston. So, it's been a while. Speaking of Charleston, my realtor called yesterday and they got some mail for us that for some reason stopped being forwarded, which I can't understand. And then the box that Amazon sent to that address from Amazon. She has it, so she's going to send it to us. So I guess we get it twice. Inadvertently, though.
That could be the video card box.
I hope not. If it is, now I wouldn't mind picking up another video card. That'd be cool.
Well, then you could have an auction on here sometime.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, this nook that I have is for a video cord.
It'd have to be a half height or anything.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I think it can pretty much
That little box can hold a graphics card?
sure can.
Wow. Be interesting to see that. It didn't have to be a special graphics card, seriously?
Not that I know of.
There are some small ones, like ones that go on some of the mini ITX boards. Some of those you can hold a half height graphics card, but I don't remember any details now.
Yeah, they used to have low profile cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening. I'm going to say something nasty. Probably be a little yellow.
Jim just now caught on what I was doing.
I was listening to my best friend was a very idiot, and he says you don't shut monitors off. It's not good for them. And I said it's not good for the employee that leaves my payroll up. Did you know about it? That they have certain pulse on the screen, actually in those.
How the hell is that happening?
I had my monitor last 11 years, I think.
Yeah, but you don't want somebody walk by and you got, you know, who's, you don't want somebody knowing what you pay to, you know, one of your vendors. It's none of my business.
Josh coming in on his,
Yeah, Jim said he was in the waiting room. Oh, he wants me to go to the waiting room. I like your comments were good, and I just didn't want to try to retype them, so I thought I'll just see if I can copy and paste, and lo and behold, I could. So I'm guessing Josh joined on his phone or his iPad.
Boy number 2.
Yeah, but you'll be up at 3 watching Rescue.
Yeah.
Let's see
Well,
here.
you only get it. Echoing Jim's comment about memory on the motherboards, the thing I find irritating these days is that you can't buy a smartphone where the batteries aren't soldered in
Nope.
anymore.
And nowadays you can't get a smartphone that you can slide the little thing and take the battery out like you used to be able to do, or pop the cover.
Yep.
In my phone, I can still take the battery out, but I don't really want to replace this. And then on the next phone, I won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the last phone I had, I updated it because it wouldn't run an app I wanted to run. And it did have the replaceable battery, and I got a brand new Panasonic battery of the same type that was originally in it. But I think it had been on the shelf too long, and it lasted me about 8 months, and then started acting up. It won't hold a charge anymore. I'm not using the phone much anyway. I could still run it or simple apps on my desk, not to make calls or whatever if I leave it plugged into the charger. But it's just aggravating. Now when your battery goes out, basically they're telling you need to buy a new phone when the battery starts getting low.
Speaking of batteries, Alex, did your chair take a charge tonight or not?
Won't. I had to plug it in with a charger while I was talking for quite a bit earlier, and it appears not to have taken a charge, but it's still sitting at with the same charge it was while I left for church. It's still sitting at like 58%, and it's Wi-Fi.
Any way to tell if it's the battery or the charger, maybe? Have to go someplace where they can diagnose it for you?
The chargers, actually, the charger we've been using is actually the charger that came with the other chair. So we don't have any, that came with my chair before this one, because they both use the same charger. But, so we actually have a charger in the box, brand new. The charger that came with this one that's never been used. So if it is a charger, we've got one.
Well, that would be one thing you could try then, just see if you plug it in, and then if the new charger doesn't work with it, then you have more cause to suspect the battery, I would assume.
Hey, Rick, this is what you need. That's the kind of phone you need.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's the kind of phone I would actually like to have in some respects. Must be from, what, Consumer Cellular for AARP people?
That's the kind of phone both of my grandparents have.
Jitterbug phone?
But the phones they have, and strangely enough, even though they're flip phones and they don't have a full size keypad, they got the numbers where you gotta press one key 3 times to get to like ABC or whatever. Strangely enough, even though they're normal flip phones, they got Google Maps and they got YouTube on them. And connected to Wi-Fi.
I used to text on one of those when I had to text.
I did too back in the day. It was the most irritating thing to do.
It hasn't gotten much better with these phones.
On my phone, it's a group app for the baseball games and stuff my grandson goes to. And I downloaded and installed the app, and it says, now we have to send you a link to activate. And the link goes to your email, but I don't do email on my phone at all.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to have to install Microsoft Outlook for Android on there just long enough to follow that link and get the other app activated and then take the damn thing off again.
Yep.
Because I'm nearly at the limit of a free memory on this phone. I'm going to have to clean out some photographs and old text and stuff one of these days.
I have a 128 gigabyte phone now, and I'm only using 30 gigs.
I'm not sure how much, and I can't really help myself much. I mean, I've got the memory card in it, and it'll take even a larger one, but that's not the problem. It's the actual phone memory that I'm getting filled up with, so I'm going to have to do something about that. Alex, you may know this. Is there a way to save my old text messages to an external device? Simply to archive them?
I think so, but that depends on whatever app you're using to.
Well, I'm just using whatever, it's just called messages.
iPhone or Android?
Android.
But even Android, is it what brand of phone is it?
LG.
See, some manufacturers like Samsung, especially, they use their own. They have like Samsung makes their own phone and messaging apps.
This one I think may have more than one. I'm just using whatever the default was. When I got this phone, I was able to transfer the messages over from my old Samsung phone. Total Wireless has their own app that you can use to transfer everything over. And the problem is you can get stuff transferred through Google as well, like phone books and all of that. And I ended up with an address or contact list where I might have the same entry in there 4 times within what should have been a single entry.
Wow.
And it took me like 3 days worth of editing to clean all that shit up. Pardon my French.
That's why I don't like Samsung phones. And if you buy Samsung phones, it's no different than buying an HP or Dell computer. because Samsung puts their specific phone app on there. They put their specific text messaging app on there. I won't.
I think this is just the standard Android one on this LG.
Yeah, I want to use. I want it to be the normal standard Android, phone and messaging app, so that when
The trouble was there were like 4 or 5 apps that came on this LG that ate up all the resources on it. And this thing was slower than molasses until I figured out which app was using up all the resources and got rid of them. It's like buying a new computer and having all of the crapware on it.
the last couple of phones I've got, they pretty much come with a stock version of Android.
Yeah, what are you using? Motorola?
Yeah, Motorola. The one I have is I forget, it's a 128 gigabyte phone with 6 gigs of memory.
I'm going to have to do something in a year or two probably, because LG quit making Android phones. They announced that about 2 months after I bought this LG phone. But I will say one thing, Ian, I had my old Samsung phone for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And never once did I get an Android update on that phone. Never. Samsung just wouldn't push them through.
You have any problems with it?
No, but by contrast, on this LG phone, which LG doesn't even make Android phones anymore, I've gotten like 4 software updates. So they've been good about pushing all the security updates and stuff through.
I will get security up. I've been getting security updates on my Motorola phone here, but I haven't gotten any feature updates. So no Android 11 or Android 12 on.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to get a new version on any of them. That would be counterproductive to selling new phones.
Hey Jeff, I sent you a text in chat. How to transfer your text messages from an LG phone to your PC.
Thank you. That's what I'd like to do. Just not all of them. There are some I'd like to archive and then just wipe all the other messages out. That'll free up quite a bit of memory for me.
Yeah, it would.
And also all the photos on there. I know how to archive the photos already. I do that fairly regularly, but I'm starting to get warning messages occasionally that I'm running low on memory. So I just need to clean it up.
I have my photos set to automatically go to my SD card, so I basically have a 120 gigabyte phone with a 64 gig SD card. So I save all the pictures and all the music and stuff on. I try to save the phone just for the apps and stuff.
The last security patch I got on this phone was May 1st of 2020. It's done nothing since then.
I don't even remember how to tell. I know I can go into settings someplace.
Yeah, then go to the system update. I had something that I wanted to point out. Today, when I came home, I got some jamming out in myself. And we used jamming out. We're putting together a put with for my aunt because I want her to have a better computer than what we have down at the house because I can't stand the Dell. It's not living up to my capabilities. So I got 2 chapters at the house for $400. Jim and Alex went online and he found that Alex could build me a pretty nice computer for about $600.
So I'm
It's the
gonna
same
vote.
price as your current new build.
So I'm gonna vote saving my money. And hopefully get my aunt a better computer, because I'm not satisfied with the one she has. Even though I'm the one that gave it to her.
That doesn't sound right. You're going to give your aunt a new computer because you're not satisfied.
Well, how would you put it?
Hold that thought. Everybody, if you could, try to watch the stream. I'm going to go ahead and end this with the new and maybe not improved outro.
Alrighty.
And I am working on a introduction that again may or may not be. So this is the new and improved, maybe. It is what it is. Here it goes. Buttons being pushed. Hopefully in about 4 seconds it'll run.
Time's up.
And there it is. Oh. That part hasn't changed yet. I'm still,
Still
yeah.
waiting for it.
Oh, well, I forgot what. There we go. There's Jeff's Dancing Girls. Oh, I got to make an adjustment, I see.
Brought to you by. Alright. Okay.
There's a guy we haven't heard from lately, is Costanza.
No, we haven't. I shot him an email a while back, like last week, I believe it was, and I haven't even heard from that.
I like that. It's not, yeah.
Well, I did a real quick one. Now, on my screen, it looks like it's cutting part of it off. I don't know.
Yeah, on the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side, right. So I may have to go in there and make an adjustment on...
It's not quite centered.
Oh, it's that is actually centered. I use the centering setting to do that. So maybe I need to put it on the left, and then I thought I'd end
If
up...
it is centered, even your logo doesn't look to me to be centered, but it's hard to judge those things.
Yeah, and then I'm wondering why it's suddenly not kicking back to where it should, but that's fine. So that's it. It's a work in progress. I'll have to make some changes.
Yeah, that's fine though. I like the names.
So I sent a copy to Jose and BH last night, which was not near what it is now. And both of them said yes. BH wrote back, he goes, I'm not sure how the Bee Gees fit in. So let me go ahead and end the stream.
What does BG's have to do with it?
Nothing. I'm just, you know how you watch like the airplane movies and some of these funnier movies, and they'll have the actors, and then it'll, special thanks to, and they'll say M&M's, or we'd like to give a shout out to the Bee Gees or something like that. That's all I was trying to do. Nothing.